G'day folks, how you going? I put a post on Off Grid and Living Off a Land site about storing meat in salt. I got a varying amount of answers back of varying quality. It made me realise that nobody really knows. So I'm going to do an experiment storing meat in salt, and this is a video about the results of that experiment. If you find yourself with a lot of meat and no time to smoke it or can it, this may be an option for you. The meat I'm using today is pork, bought at the local market. As you can see behind me, I'm not up on my misty mountain and I have not got access to venison or freshly killed meat. Okay, have a good day. See you. Just sit it there and see what happens to it. This is a real life test of preserving meat with salt only, to be reconstituted at a later date and used in cooking such as stews and casseroles. If you are lucky enough to have a smoker and the time to prepare it for smoking, which is not a lot of time, that's a better way to go. This is a quick option when you find yourself with a lot of meat and maybe only one day to preserve it. This may be an option for you. You may have noticed I'm using iodised salt. I'm not in the bush at the moment, you can see behind me. I'm not up in my mountain, I'm not up in my misty mountain now. You can see by the writing, I'm not even in an English-speaking country. So it's very hard to source salt without iodine when you can't speak the language. So we'll find out. Some people say don't use iodised salt. Some people say it doesn't matter. We'll find out for sure. Who would want to do this? Okay, maybe your power goes out, maybe your grid goes down, or maybe you're just an off-grid person living off-grid. This is a technique to preserve meat long-term without power in all climate conditions. We'll see what happens. The situation may be that the meat here, the moisture from the meat will go to the bottom, or it may be absorbed by the bulk amount of salt I've put around it. Part 2 of this video will be unpacking the salt and reconstituting it, soak it in water a couple of times to leach the salt out of it, and then cooking it in a stew or a casserole meal. Putting the meat in a brine for a day and removing the moisture out of the meat that way would be a better option if you have the time. This test may fail, and if it fails, I've learned something and you've learned something, and I'll research a better way to do it.